Today let us reflect not on the noise of the world, but on the clarity of the mind, the discipline of thought and action. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In a world driven by impulse and distraction, the intelligent person walks a different path, a path of reason, focus, and deliberate choices. It is not the circumstances that define them, but the principles by which they live. Let us explore together the 7 ways an intelligent person acts differently, not from arrogance, but from a deep understanding that wisdom is not knowing everything, but knowing what truly matters. These are not tricks or shortcuts, but timeless habits forged by discipline, humility, and purpose. An intelligent person understands that true understanding lies in simplicity. They do not feel the need to impress others with convoluted explanations or overly technical jargon. Instead, they focus on breaking down complex ideas into their simplest, most comprehensible form. This isn't about dumbing things down, it's about making them accessible. They recognize that the measure of their understanding is not how complicated they can make something sound, but how effectively they can communicate it so that others grasp its essence. In their decision-making, clarity takes precedence. They do not allow themselves to be overwhelmed by an excess of choices or unnecessary details. By identifying the core elements of a situation, they cut through distractions and focus their energy on what truly matters. This approach ensures that their actions are intentional and aligned with their goals. When faced with challenges, they approach them systematically, breaking down problems into manageable parts rather than becoming lost in the complexity of the whole. This ability to simplify and prioritize not only makes them more effective, but also reduces stress and confusion. In relationships and communication, they value directness and honesty. They avoid vague or ambiguous language, knowing that clarity fosters trust and understanding. Whether discussing ideas, resolving conflicts, or sharing their thoughts, they strive to express themselves with precision, leaving little room for misinterpretation. This mindset also applies to learning and self-improvement. Rather than drowning in a sea of unnecessary information, they seek to understand the fundamental principles that govern a subject. By mastering the basics, they create a strong foundation upon which more complex knowledge can be built. Their focus remains on depth, not breadth, ensuring that their learning is meaningful and practical. An intelligent person understands the value of listening as a tool for growth and connection. They recognize that speaking is often an act of expression, while listening is an act of learning. By prioritizing listening, they open themselves to new perspectives, insights, and experiences that expand their understanding of the world. They do not listen merely to respond or argue, but to truly comprehend the thoughts, feelings, and intentions of others. When engaged in conversation, they give their full attention, remaining present and focused. They avoid distractions such as interrupting or formulating responses prematurely, because they know that effective listening requires patience and mindfulness. By doing so, they foster deeper relationships, as others feel heard and valued in their presence. Intelligent individuals approach listening with humility, understanding that they do not have all the answers. They actively seek opportunities to learn from others, regardless of their background or expertise. They view every interaction as a potential lesson, recognizing that even those with differing viewpoints have something valuable to offer. Their ability to listen extends beyond words. They are attuned to nonverbal cues, such as body language, tone of voice, and emotional context, which provide deeper layers of meaning. This attentiveness allows them to grasp the subtleties of a conversation, making their responses more thoughtful and empathetic. Listening also helps them refine their own thoughts and ideas. By absorbing diverse perspectives, They challenge their assumptions, identify blind spots, and strengthen their reasoning. This process enhances their ability to communicate effectively when it is their turn to speak, as their words are informed by a richer understanding of the topic and the audience. For them, listening is not passive, but an active and deliberate practice that fuels growth and wisdom. An intelligent person understands that striving for perfection can often be a trap that hinders progress. They recognize that the pursuit of excellence is valuable, but becoming fixated on flawlessness can lead to procrastination, frustration, and unnecessary self-doubt. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or condition, they take action and embrace the concept of continuous improvement. They focus on progress because they know that growth happens through consistent effort, learning, and adaptation. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings them closer to their goals. By valuing momentum over perfection, they avoid the paralysis that often comes with overthinking and fear of failure. They are not afraid to make mistakes along the way, as they see these moments as opportunities to learn and refine their approach. This mindset also applies to how they set goals and measure success. They break down their objectives into manageable milestones, celebrating progress instead of obsessing over the end result. This allows them to stay motivated and resilient, even when faced with setbacks. They understand that perfection is an illusion, while progress is a tangible, achievable reality. In their work and creative pursuits, they focus on delivering value rather than aiming for unattainable standards. They iterate, experiment, and adapt, knowing that improvement is a process. By prioritizing progress, they avoid the trap of endless revisions or delays that perfectionism often demands. Intelligent individuals also apply this principle to personal development. They accept that growth is a lifelong journey and do not burden themselves with unrealistic expectations. Instead, they commit to being slightly better each day, trusting that consistent effort will lead to significant transformation over time. For them, progress is not just a strategy, it is a philosophy that keeps them moving forward with purpose. An intelligent person understands the power of delayed gratification and its role in achieving meaningful success. They recognize that immediate rewards can often be fleeting, while patience and self-discipline lead to outcomes of greater value and significance. By resisting the urge for instant satisfaction, they invest their energy and resources into actions that yield long-term benefits. They approach goals with a clear vision and strategic mindset, understanding that worthwhile achievements require time, effort, and persistence. Whether it's building a career, mastering a skill, or maintaining healthy relationships, they prioritize sustained effort over shortcuts or quick fixes. This perspective allows them to focus on the bigger picture, avoiding distractions that might provide temporary pleasure but derail their long-term objectives. This ability to delay gratification extends to managing emotions and impulses. They cultivate self-restraint, resisting the pull of impulsive decisions or reactions. By pausing to evaluate their choices, they ensure their actions align with their values and goals. This measured approach not only enhances their decision-making, but also fosters resilience, as they are less swayed by the highs and lows of immediate circumstances. In financial and personal matters, they practice discipline and foresight. They understand the importance of saving, investing, and planning for the future, rather than succumbing to the allure of instant indulgence. By choosing long-term security over short-term comfort, they set themselves up for stability and growth. Delayed gratification also shapes their relationships. They invest time and effort in building trust, communication, and connection, understanding that strong bonds take time to develop. They resist superficial interactions, choosing instead to nurture meaningful relationships that stand the test of time. Through their commitment to patience and perseverance, they demonstrate that true success is not about what is gained quickly, but what is earned and sustained over time. An intelligent person views criticism as an opportunity to grow rather than a personal attack. They understand that no one is infallible and that feedback, whether positive or negative, holds valuable insights for self-improvement. By detaching their ego from the critique, they approach it with humility and curiosity, focusing on the lesson rather than the discomfort it may bring. Instead of reacting defensively, they take the time to evaluate the criticism objectively. They consider its source, intent, and relevance, distinguishing between constructive feedback and baseless negativity. When the critique is valid, they embrace it as a tool for refining their skills, behaviors, or decisions. Even when the criticism is unfounded or poorly delivered, they remain composed, recognizing that not all feedback requires action but can still offer perspective. Their ability to learn from criticism stems from their commitment to personal and professional growth. They actively seek out constructive feedback, whether from mentors, peers, or even adversaries, understanding that different viewpoints can illuminate blind spots they may have overlooked. This openness to critique strengthens their self-awareness and helps them make informed adjustments in their actions and strategies. They also use criticism to build resilience. By facing uncomfortable truths head-on, they develop the ability to adapt and thrive in challenging situations. Rather than fearing judgment, they view it as a natural part of striving for excellence. This mindset allows them to stay focused on their goals without being derailed by insecurity or doubt. In turn, they extend this practice to how they give feedback to others. Having experienced the value of thoughtful critique, they aim to offer it in a constructive and respectful manner, fostering a culture of growth and collaboration. For them, criticism is not a threat, but a mirror reflecting opportunities to improve and excel. An intelligent person seeks wisdom above validation. They understand that external approval is fleeting and unreliable, while true wisdom, rooted in knowledge, experience, and reflection, provides lasting guidance. They do not act to impress others or to gain recognition, but to align their actions with their values and principles. Rather than seeking affirmation, they focus on deepening their understanding of the world, questioning assumptions and refining their thinking. They pursue knowledge not to build their ego, but to become more effective, compassionate, and insightful. They understand that the pursuit of wisdom often requires discomfort, challenging their beliefs, confronting their weaknesses, and admitting what they don't know. Yet, this pursuit is seen as a path to growth, not a means to gain the approval of others. They also recognize that wisdom is not just intellectual but practical. It is applied knowledge that enhances their decision-making, relationships, and overall quality of life. They focus on the lessons life offers, learning from both successes and failures, and continuously refining their approach. This pursuit is not driven by a desire for praise, but by a genuine desire to live in accordance with what is true and meaningful. Their commitment to wisdom frees them from the constant need for external validation, allowing them to remain centered and resolute, even in the face of criticism or rejection. They do not let the opinions of others dictate their worth or direction, knowing that wisdom is the only reliable measure of their progress. For them, the true reward lies not in the approval of the crowd, but in the quiet satisfaction of knowing they are living with purpose and integrity. In the end, the intelligent person is not defined by their intellect alone, but by their ability to make wise, deliberate choices that align with their deepest values. They prioritize clarity over complexity, listen with humility, embrace progress over perfection, practice patience, learn from criticism, focus on what they can control, and seek wisdom over validation. These habits are not a result of innate talent, but of conscious effort and discipline, an ongoing commitment to personal growth, and a deep understanding of the world around them. By embodying these principles, we too can cultivate the qualities that lead to a fulfilling and meaningful life. The journey is not always easy and the path is rarely straight, but with clarity, purpose, and resilience we can navigate even the most challenging of circumstances. The power to transform our lives lies within us, not in the fleeting opinions of others or the randomness of external events, but in the choices we make every day. Let us strive to embody these principles, not as a way to prove ourselves, but as a way to become the best version of ourselves.